In his presentation yesterday, Jakob Norte Sorensen, CEO of Greenland, used that phrase that if you build infrastructure, things begin to happen. And I think it's a very good definition of how transport policy worldwide, not only in the EU, is developing. European transport policy is based on the concept of corridors, the lines running north-south and east-west across the EU to make sure that goods and people can travel freely and without obstacles. So one thing that we've done recently, we proposed the extension of 2 corridors that reach EU Arctic countries to make sure that whatever happens in the north of the EU can move and can function well and can be well connected to the rest of the European Union, because this is an important economic opportunity for everybody living anywhere in the EU. But infrastructure, like anything else, has to have the principle of sustainability enshrined in it. And if we talk about transport in the Arctic, I'm pretty sure that most of us will immediately think about the maritime dimension. We have heard a lot over the last 2 days about the first container vessel that successfully covered the North Sea route. I think it's been very clear that whatever we do with regards to transport, we need to support global agreements and global standards and solutions that apply to the entire maritime sector, no matter where the vessels go. But for that reason, EU and EU member states have been extremely supportive to make sure that the Polar Code, the key legal framework applying to both North and South Polar regions, is in place and agreed by IMO. We are now pushing to make sure that the so-called second phase of the Polar Code is happening very quickly. We want to make sure that the standards for equipment that is used in the polar regions are the highest possible, even though the IMO regulations, as they are not always very precise about those standards. But from the point of view of people either working or being tourists in the polar regions, it is absolutely essential that those standards are to the highest level.